It's 1968 in St. Paul, Minnesota, inside one of 3M's research laboratories. Down in these rooms, scientists are dealing in high-stakes, rigorous industrial chemistry. One of those chemists is a man named Spencer Silver. His current assignment is to invent a super-strong, permanent adhesive that can be used in aircraft construction. He's looking for a bond that can hold a commercial fuselage together. But Silver's experiment yields the exact opposite. He accidentally creates a compound made up of acrylic microspheres. These microscopic spherical particles grip surfaces when pressed, but because of their shape, they peel off completely intact, leaving absolutely no residue behind. For building airplanes, a glue that lets go when you pull it is useless. A standard adhesive flattens out and creates a permanent, immovable bond. Silver's temporary, repositionable spheres had completely failed the structural requirements of the aerospace division. He had created a scientifically perfect compound. It did exactly what it was designed to do, over and over again. He just didn't have a problem that actually required this specific solution. For the next 5 years, Silver takes his invention on an internal tour of 3M headquarters. He pitches his odd, temporary glue to anyone who will listen. The response is consistent. No one wants it. 3M makes tapes and permanent adhesives. A glue that intentionally fails to hold permanently doesn't fit into any existing product category. So, Silver continues his internal seminar circuit. He stands in front of his colleagues, demonstrates the clean peel and restick property of his microspheres, and meets a room full of polite, indifferent nods. The survival of this adhesive comes down to incredibly fragile timing. At one of these early presentations, there is a distinctly empty chair. A colleague named Art Fry misses the seminar. The compound languishes in the company files. The chemistry itself works perfectly, but the innovation is completely stalled by a total lack of corporate imagination. It needs a very specific use case. That use case finally arrives on a Sunday morning in Minneapolis in 1974. Art Fry, the colleague who missed that early presentation, is standing in his church's choir loft. He is dealing with a highly specific, low-stakes frustration. The paper bookmarks keeping his place in his heavy hymnal keep slipping out from the pages and falling down to the floor. As he replaces his lost page markers, he remembers a seminar he eventually did attend months earlier. He recalls Spencer Silver's strange temporary adhesive. By removing the glue from the high-pressure demands of aerospace engineering and dropping it into the mundane reality of a choir loft, it ceases to be a failed industrial adhesive. It instantly becomes a perfect functioning tool. Fry returns to work and requests a sample of Silver's compound. He takes the batch down to his home basement and spends his evenings applying the adhesive to small squares of paper to test the concept. Those prototype squares end up being yellow for a purely practical reason. It is simply the only scrap paper available in the lab next door that has the correct weight to handle the chemical coating process. When Fry brings these bright yellow squares back into the 3M offices to leave notes on documents, his colleagues notice. Soon they begin asking for supplies, and the notes spread organically from desk to desk. For years, Silver had tried to explain the value of the glue theoretically, but the invention only proved its worth when it became a tangible, physical object that people could actually hold and pass to one another. This chart shows the 1977 test launch in 4 cities. Sales dropped nearly to zero. The market research explains the crash. Consumers surveyed couldn't conceptualize the use case for a sticky piece of paper. They simply didn't understand why they'd need it. Fry argues that the research methodology itself is flawed. He insists you can't survey people about a behavior they've never engaged in. He eventually convinces 3M to try one last tactic, flooding the office spaces of Boise, Idaho with completely free samples. The reorder rates hit 90%. True behavioral innovation can't be explained in a standard questionnaire. It has to be experienced directly by the user to make sense. Walk into any office space in the world today, and you will see the result of that Boise test market. Small, colorful paper squares are stuck to monitors, phones, and documents everywhere. 3M now sells billions of these units every single year. They are manufactured in dozens of sizes and over 100 different colors worldwide. Yet this massive global footprint relies on a wildly fragile chain of events. It exists entirely because of an industrial glue that failed to hold an airplane together, a 5-year delay, a hymnal bookmark that refused to stay put, and a test market that almost killed the project entirely. The Post-it note proves that highly valuable ideas rarely arrive as immediate successes. Often they disguise themselves as persistent failures, just waiting for someone to find the right problem.